All right, everybody, welcome back to the FanCave. Guys, I appreciate you guys coming back. This is awesome.
Yeah, the last couple of episodes we did, they were a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to what's in store now.
Yeah. So I figured we'd talk about a few things here. I think one of the things that I wanted to kind of get out there was the Star Wars trilogy, and I'm talking just the original theatrical versions. So I figured maybe we could talk about what works and what doesn't work, what we like, what we don't like, and just cover that. I think that's enough topic that we can talk about first. So we'll go over that.
Sweet.
You, Tony, were talking about you wanted to cover a couple of things, so I'll let you go ahead and take it.
Yes. So first off, Mike, congratulations on the views that you have on the very first episode. You've reached 100.
Yeah.
I mean, that's inspiring
That's
to
awesome.
me. That is something that I'm going to aspire to when we finally release videos on our podcast, The Knowledge of Nothing. But I really want to draw attention to something that is a hidden gem on your channel that people should be watching right now. Okay, watch this episode, and then after this, directly go to. Is it Macbethio or Macbethiano? Because I know that
it might be Macbethiano on YouTube.
So it is on YouTube.
Yes.
It is on YouTube. It's
Yes.
Oh,
on,
because I was
his
like,
channel.
channel.
I was like, how do I get a copy? And then it's on
Yeah.
YouTube. Okay.
No, it's on his channel.
It's on this channel.
And
So
the bloopers are on this channel too.
Oh my God. And this is the only thing that I've ever seen where the blooper reel is actually longer than the actual movie that we made. Or this was something that we had done as teenagers. We watched it again tonight. It is so much fun. Please go and watch this. But Mike, I got a few quibbles about this thing. It has
I'm ready
not
for it.
aged
Give it
all
to me.
that
Give
well.
it to me.
The lighting is absolutely atrocious.
We
We
were in high school. What were we gonna do?
I know. I didn't realize how important lighting is. So if you ever do a remaster, can we just get some decent lighting in there?
Maybe I'll do a special edition.
Yes, please. That would be amazing.
But I won't add
And
any
by the
scenes
way-
in there that are going to deter from it.
Maybe we need to
Yes.
recast and reboot it though, and change some of the genders
That's
of the
very possible
characters.
as well.
And
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
and I don't think there was a fair amount of diversity. I saw only high school kids in there.
Yeah, that's true. There was females
so
in there.
true.
I had females.
Yes.
Yes, you did. Yeah,
it
yeah.
was,
My
it was
beautiful wife,
mostly supposed
Sarah.
to be about Italian, so I mean, I kept it to Italian, so it is what it is.
Yeah, it's a mashup. If in case you're wondering, it's a mashup of Macbeth. Of course, you already know that. We probably shouldn't have said that. Isn't there like some kind of bad juju that comes along with saying that? But anyway, Macbeth, and then also it is The Godfather, and it was a high school project that we had done. Please watch it. It is so good. In fact, it has inspired my kids to create GIFs based on this. Okay, and I'm
Here
going to
we go.
show the first GIF that was created tonight. And I'm just going to show it on here, and it's absolutely, if this doesn't pique your interest, folks, I don't know what will. Okay, just watch this. This is that is it right there. So, people, this is an instant classic. Just watch it on a loop, and we'll go from there. But, Mike, yes, thank you for including that on the channel.
Thank you.
Floyd, you were flawless in it. Mike, you're flawless in it. It was such a fun time.
I
But
think
anyhow.
if we get 1,000 views, that we may have to start selling tickets to the location tour and just take people in Norco
Yeah, we'll take
and say it
people
was
on
shot
time,
there
yes.
and it was shot across.
right.
That's the big house.
Yeah.
And they were day sleepers, so don't ring the doorbell.
That's funny.
And that whole dark sequence where you can't see absolutely anything, but you hear people talking, that was right across
so
the street.
let me tell you what happened. So years ago, like 20 years ago, I was on a TV show called Your Big Break, where I sang a Garth Brooks song. So they were wanting to get information and like, hey, what did you do in high school? Stuff like that. So I gave them the original Macbethio tape that we had from high school.
Did you
never
really?
got it back. So
Are
they
you
kept
So that's
it.
what Hollywood does to you. They steal everything.
Yeah, so I had to go through my old little cassette tapes and re-edit a new one. I had everything except for that one scene that's very dark across the street.
Well, I think we need to get back together and reenact it.
Yeah, so I was
Yes, I
pissed
know.
about that.
Sarah was telling me, she's like, why don't you, we should do it all again.
That would be awesome.
Like as we're older.
Yeah.
I was like,
And Tito works at the hardware store. We can get a deal on lights.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's on.
Yeah.
Or you can, yes,
It's
totally.
totally on.
Yes, let's make that happen, guys. Oh, my goodness. But yes, please, just check it out. It is a gem, folks. I'm telling you right now, it is so much fun.
I had fun doing it.
But
And I got to tell you, even though
Yes.
I graduated the year before, because I guess I'm a year older than you guys, technically. Yeah, about a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you let me in it, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And you steal
There's
every
no
scene
way that I
you're
would
in,
not have
Floyd.
let you in that, Floyd. I mean, it was like,
Well, if you were
we
mad,
needed
if
a
you
bad
were, if you were mad at me that week, anything could have happened.
Nah, you were good. I still wouldn't have excluded you from that. Come on now.
You just would have shot me on screen or something.
And Floyd is like I said, he in every scene that he's in, he steals it. So please do yourself a
We should
favor.
do a
I'm
watch
going to do
party.
myself a favor.
Watch party with it.
Oh, that's yes.
We do a watch
We
party.
should do yes.
Because
But see, you
Watch
need that.
party.
You need the cast and crew commentary for the special edition.
Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
I don't think we'd be able to get a hold of Jeff Johnson.
Yeah,
Mike,
I know.
Mike
Or
Mullane, I
Mike
might
Mullane.
be able to. I mean, I still am in contact with him. But
And my question was, what was with Joe Sagatti just sitting there looking like
We're
a Dick Tracy?
definitely-
Absolutely does
We're definitely not going to be able
and
to
just
get a
sits
hold
there.
of him, and we should probably edit this part out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know
Okay,
anything
all right.
about
All
that.
right.
I plead
I
innocent
know
of
I-
all
but,
those charges.
The next
On to the
thing. I
next
have
thing.
something.
Okay, yeah, go.
I've literally brought something to the table. So,
All right.
was it your birthday? Was last week, Mike?
Yes.
So today I went over to a place called Cooters, which is the Dukes of Hazzard Museum and Gift Shop.
Museum.
Now it's not just all Dukes of Hazzard. By the way, crazy stuff. I'm in there, and two of the people who work there are talking. John Schneider, unannounced, stopped in 3 weeks ago because his wife wanted to see the place.
Nice.
And so it wasn't even announced; he just came in. So they got a bunch of cool memorabilia and toys and stuff like that. So I decided that for your birthday, I would like to add something to the fan cave.
Nice. Okay.
And so I know that you're not the kind of guy to kiss and tell, but you've taught ladies plenty. That's the Colt Seaver
Fall Guy.
Fall Guy.
Yes.
That's
And
awesome.
so happy birthday, Mike, and you
Thank
and
you.
Howie can have a good time.
That is awesome.
Yes.
Colt Seaver.
Colt Seaver, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I'm not the kind to kiss and tell. I used to love that show.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I know you did.
I know you did.
That's great.
All right, so I saw that, and I'm like, I got to get that for Mike.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, all right, yeah. I guess enough of the small talk. Now we'll get into the meat.
Yeah,
and
let's
potatoes
get into the meat and
episode,
potatoes. All right,
All
gentlemen. Well, Tony, thank you for the Macbethio plug. Floyd,
You're
thank you for
welcome.
the Fall Guy truck. I appreciate that. So anyway, so I'm thinking, Star Wars Trilogy, Star Wars Empire, Return of the Jedi. I figured we could break it up into two sections. One section would be the original theatrical cut, and then the special edition. And we kind of can maybe go movie by movie, what works, what doesn't work, what we liked, what we didn't like, and if we have any stories to share in between there, we can go. I will go ahead and start. So we'll start with just Star Wars. We mentioned the last time, we all saw it, when it first came out. I saw it on a big screen, drive-in. Tony, so did you. Floyd, you saw it in Arlington. But as far as Star Wars, the original theatrical cut, the only gripe that I have about it that doesn't work is just the pace of it in the second half. Like the theatrical cut of like the TIE fighters and the X-wings, like in that Battle of Yavin, is at times can be very slow paced. That's my only gripe with that. But as far as everything else with Star Wars, I'm okay with it. I don't have any issues with it. And me griping about the pacing is me stretching for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I will call one thing out, and it still weirds me every single time I talk about it or think about it, is that kiss in Empire Strikes Back.
You jump movies on us there, man.
So I know. I switched up gears. I can't with A New Hope. I don't really have any qualms with it. I don't have any issues. It was a beautifully paced film, in my opinion. I think that you needed everything that happened in there.
Sure.
I won't even talk about the other stuff with the special editions.
We'll get to that because I got plenty to say.
Yeah, I know you do, and I think we all
Sure.
do. But overall, And maybe this is just nostalgia speaking. I don't have any issues with the first film. None.
I have a couple.
Yeah, what you got, Floyd?
Well,
Do you really?
it seems that when Carrie Fisher is in imperial custody, she has a British accent. And
I've never noticed that.
yeah, and so when she's with the rebels, it's fine. But she throws on the British, and she even says that like she wasn't getting clear direction from George Lucas. And so when she's around Peter Cushing, she throws in the British accent.
I'll have to.
Yeah, so it's subtle, but it's there.
Wow.
And then
Okay.
There's one scene in the conference room where Darth Vader says, "I told you she would never consciously repay the rebellion." And then he does the Italian and like
no vocals, but you could see it.
And they just literally did not have enough extra footage there.
Yeah.
And so the editing is, sometimes where a scene ends, they had nothing after that. And so it goes to the pacing. And this also goes to the special effects. I mean, at the time, no one had ever done anything like that. So I don't have an issue with it on that.
Yeah, well, that's good. The only other thing that I have, and I was thinking about it, is there's one scene in the lightsaber duel where Obi-Wan's lightsaber is like right on with the camera, and there's no color. It's just you can see like the stick.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, Star Wars is good.
Well, and in the original release, after Obi-Wan's dead and they're running to the Millennium Falcon, there was no red on Darth Vader's lightsaber. It's just a white stick originally.
Oh, okay. I think I do remember that. That didn't bug me as much though. But every time I watch Star Wars, I look for that stupid lightsaber.
Yeah, so
thing.
do I. It does distract from.
Okay, there is one. Okay, if there's one thing I could fix.
Yeah.
When the Jawas are selling the droids, there's that scene where R2D2 turns.
Sure.
And it's the same footage used twice in a row there.
Mm-hmm.
And it couldn't have been because the droid blew up and I wait, he hasn't blown up yet.
I'm surprised they didn't fix that in a special edition.
Yeah.
Like it's such an easy fix, you know what I mean?
Isn't it odd what they chose to kind of fix and not fix? But
we'll get into that.
That's about it.
So Star Wars, I think we're all in agreement. Good tiny little things, but nothing big.
No. There's nothing
Empire Strikes Back. To be honest with you, I don't have really any issues with Empire. I get your kiss, Tony. I get it. But at that time, nobody knows anything, and he doesn't know anything, so it doesn't bother me until you rewatch it again after you know what's going on.
I know, but then you've watched it 50, 60 times. I mean, does it make it less uncomfortable, or does it make it more uncomfortable? Are you comfortable with it? It still weirds me out every single time I watch it, no matter how many times
I'm okay with it. I don't have an issue. I mean, they don't know. It's innocent. She's only doing it to make Han Solo jealous. It's not because she finds him attractive and wants to hook up with him. She wants to piss off Han Solo. So I think that's the motivation.
But I think both times that we saw it in the theater together, there was still kind of a really kind of visceral reaction both times that we saw it. Do you remember that? The crowd kind of goes,
I've actually been there when they went, oh, like everyone yelled out.
Yeah, right? It's just, but that's, I think that Empire overall is a masterpiece. I think if there is another thing I have a little slight criticism of, it would be the helmet scene, right? I don't know. I feel it gives you a little bit of mystery, but I don't know. I would just rather they saved that for Return of the Jedi.
You mean when it lowers down on him? Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
No, I like that. I like get a little bit. It's kind of like in Star Wars, the only real mention to the Emperor is when I just received a message that the Emperor has dissolved the Senate. And then you see the Emperor on the hologram, and then when you get to Jedi, you get there. And so I kind of felt that was all like, just give you a little, and then here's the rest. Mm-hmm. So I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Emperor's face in Empire kind of, if it's very flat, right? It feels like it's
different
just
actor. That's why.
Yeah. Is that what it was?
It's a completely different actor. They hadn't finalized the Emperor until Jedi came.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I have a weird observation.
What?
So when you're on the
Okay.
Rebel base in Hoth, none of the generals from the Battle of Yavin are there. So does that mean they got wiped out between the two movies?
Well, no.
General
but
Dodonna's not
they might have
there.
been, they might have been setting up the next rendezvous point at another point.
Maybe they were, but it really is kind of an inconsistency. Every time you're in Star Wars, all the generals are dead
Yeah.
for the next one, or not
Yeah,
there.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
So-
But overall, Empire, I think, is just, like I said, flawless. I don't have any issues with it
No.
whatsoever.
All right.
Except the kiss. Yeah.
So moving on, we'll go to Return of the Jedi. So Return of the Jedi. As far as the theatrical goes, I don't really have too many issues with that either. I thought that it was well paced, but for me going into Return of the Jedi, I was very excited for Return of the Jedi because I had a family friend who was an Ewok, so I got to hear about that before the movie even came. So when the Ewoks came, I was in a different mindset than a lot of the people were when the Ewoks showed up, because a lot of people don't like the Ewoks. I was like, all these stories that I heard were awesome about the Ewoks. So I was okay with the Ewoks. But Return of the Jedi theatrical, I have, I don't know, very little problems with.
The Ewoks I loved. People say that they're a knockoff of Wookiees, but I never saw it that way. I thought the Wookiees and the Ewoks were two different breeds. They didn't remind me of one another for some strange reason. Right. But the issue I do have with it was I felt a little been there, done that. Especially at the in the third act with the Death Star.
Sure.
And then this other Death Star, it was something that kind of it keeps creeping up. It showed up in episode 7, right? We get back to this thing, and then all of a sudden we're now dealing with this new Death Star. That's odd. It felt it had been repetitive, and it didn't feel like a natural progression. I felt like they were leaning a little bit too hard on this new Death Star storyline, but that was pretty much it for me.
No, I get that. Floyd, you got anything for Jedi?
No, not really. The only thing that I think is you only know it by the time you get to Jedi is it is very apparent that George Lucas really didn't plan out the brother and sister thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just enough little hints that could have been there. Kind of like when you go back to Star Wars and it says, Lucius not a farmer and he's too much of his father in him. I said, that's what I'm afraid of. Sure. That line means absolutely nothing until after you see The Empire Strikes Back.
Absolutely.
Yes. And then Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. Like, oh, okay. And oddly enough, that stuff really doesn't come out until you get to the prequels.
Right.
But there's so much, there's a lot there. But Star Wars is one of those things where you have to assume that like some interesting conversations happen between the movies.
Right.
Because when Luke's asking, do you remember your mother, your real mother? And part of you is going, real mother? What do you mean real mother? Yeah. So they do add some things just because they need to add some things.
Sure.
And I get it. I love Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
I remember very vividly going to see it and then going to see it like the next 3 weekends in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And
I saw it several times in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually the first movie I ever went and saw in a walk-in.
Oh, really?
Nice.
In an actual theater. So again, one of my first memories is being in a drive-in watching this, and one of my very first in-theater experience was actually Return of the Jedi. So it really holds something dear to me. I did have one issue, and Boba Fett. You get this character that is just so awesome, right? Awesome looking, and you're thinking, wow, this guy is just okay, cool. I'm gonna do my own thing, and everybody's so kind of like, what is this guy? What's he gonna be? Is he gonna do this? Is he gonna be that? He was that breakout star of Empire Strikes Back, and then within like a half hour, is in the Sarlacc pit.
We're chumped out in Return of the Jedi.
Yes, exactly. And that was the only
Yeah, I'm with you.
I just remember
you.
everybody had this romanticized version of what Boba Fett was, and when it came down to brass tacks in the story, he was nothing.
Yeah. But by the way, on the Boba Fett bandwagon, I actually went and watched the cartoon from the Star Wars Holiday Special of 1978 that first introduced Boba Fett.
Yes.
I went back and watched that, and oh boy! But
it's horrendous.
and by the way, the cartoon is the best part of the special.
Yes.
And
I have it in high def, and it's horrible.
And hey, here comes a plug. Macbethio is far better than that.
Yeah.
Okay, Macbethio.
The Macbethio Holiday Special coming to you before Star Wars Holiday Special ever resurfaces. I have one gripe. I can't believe neither of you mentioned it.
What?
Uh-oh.
It's the most obvious thing, and it pulls you out of the movie, even though I remember laughing at it when I was in the 5th grade. The Tarzan yell as we swing to the Scout Walker.
I didn't even have an issue with that.
Why does the Wookiee know what Tarzan sounds like?
I get it. Now that you say it, I get it.
Yeah.
But I don't even have an issue with that.
No, I don't even have an issue with that either. I just I had more of an issue with Shia LaBeouf swinging with monkeys than that was a travesty to me. But that's
is that in the special edition? I don't remember that in Jedi.
No, that was
going. Yes,
but the thing about that though,
I think it was an embryo at that point or something. I don't know.
But we were kids when we saw that, so it was very innocent. So I've just kind of accepted it as part of the movie.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. There is one major flaw though.
All right.
Vader's here now on this moon.
Yeah, continuity.
His shuttle doesn't run. So who knows? Maybe he was on another part of the moon and he had to fly over. Yeah. But he did say that.
Yeah, that. Now, as we get into continuity, that's my thing,
that's your
and that
cup of tea
really won't be for this trilogy. When it comes to the prequel trilogy, continuity craziness, but we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah. And so that's the only thing I got there. And I will say that scene between Luke and Darth Vader when he says, "Oh, you finally accepted the truth," that is probably one of the best scenes between Luke and Darth Vader that there is. It is just the tension there is just absolutely incredible, and it's not a long scene.
Right when he lights up the saber behind him.
Yeah, that's what's one of the best written scenes that there is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. But I just I don't. And this is the part of me that. I have to question. Is it sincere? Is this because this is what we grew up with and this is kind of our canon? And so we're really dismissive of this stuff and we can't look at it objectively?
No.
Because I can't look at it
objectively
for some
No, because
reason.
when we get into the special editions, I have legitimate gripes.
Yes.
Yeah. But look, these are 3 movies that spawned a major franchise a generation later.
They didn't need fixing.
There's something to them. I mean, they tell a complete story, and they give us heroes, and they make good and evil very, very clear.
Yeah.
And self-sacrifice at the end, which when we get to the sequel trilogy, I'll get right into that one, especially on episode 8.
Yeah.
And so, but
and that friendship and that bond that we've all talked about in the last episode that we were on together, where it was just about all of these people that were friends and what they were able to do together, and having that connection. But yeah, Mike, we've only got like 6 minutes left for this show, and we haven't even touched.
What we might do is we might either go long on this one, or we might do another one and just talk about what was right.
Oh, let's leave a cliffhanger.
Right and wrong about the special editions. So it really depends on what you guys have time for, what you guys want to do.
I say we go long because if you're watching right now, let's get it all done.
All right, let's go. We'll
sure. All right, cool. Baby. Let's do it. All right, sweet.
So this will be this will be the
started.
special edition of the Fan Cave where we'll go.
This is the Coppola cut for the extra hour of the Fan Cave Apocalypse Now you've never seen.
That's right.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So I think in agreement, the original theatrical cut trilogy, very, very little issues. We're pretty good with it.
Yeah.
And if other stuff comes up, it comes up. But
Yeah,
All
exactly.
right. So now the painful part for me is the special editions. So we'll start with Star Wars, and I'll go first. And I think what we can do is maybe I'll say one, Floyd, you can say one, Tony, we'll just go one at a time. Because I don't know about you, but I have a few issues. But I have some.
I've got one issue
but I
that
have
always
some good
sticks in my
stuff, too.
craw.
But I have some good stuff.
Okay.
For me,
Really?
and when I talk about special edition, I'm talking about what's on Disney Plus right now. Like
Okay.
Okay, I have not watched it in a while.
I have not
All right,
watched
well-
it on Disney Plus, so
then maybe you won't even know what I'm talking about. But the whole Han shoots first, or
That's so bad.
that's just ridiculous. And if you watch the
Who's
new
shooting
one,
now?
Greedo shoots first, but right after he says McClunky. And if you've
What?
heard
yes.
if you've heard
Yes,
McClunky, it's
yes.
it's someone might as well take a lightsaber and jam it in my ear because I hate it. So
Well, was this a George Lucas thing or is this
yeah,
somebody else's
this is a
thing?
George Lucas thing. McClunky. It's you need to see it if you haven't seen it.
It sounds. It sounds.
It's horrendous.
Quite frankly, I think the whole special editions are McClunky.
Yeah, I was gonna say this sounds quite McClunky.
Yes,
It's horrendous.
the whole thing is McClunky.
horrendous.
Every time you hear McClunky, you take a drink. Here, here.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yes,
So
yeah,
I'll start
true.
off with McClunky. So Tony, you go. I'll let you go next.
Okay, but you're not. Okay, but you're. This is real. You're not just doing this to
No.
mess with me tonight.
McClunky.
No. Yeah, McClunky. Yes.
By the way, does it mean
my
something?
issue.
I'm sorry. Does it mean
They
something?
don't give a translation.
Okay, I'm sorry, Tony. This
Yeah.
is really kind of.
No, yeah, you guys have at it, man.
No. This is
digging into
this is.
It's sacrilegious.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
It's like, wait, you said you never kissed him. What was this about?
Yeah, this is it's bad.
Listen, you know, I really I need to put these films into context, these special editions, because I don't remember. I don't know if you recall. This was 97, right? 96 is when we started hearing about this, and we knew that new Star Wars films were coming, in 99. We knew that those were in the making.
Yeah.
And we were so excited to be a part of seeing these special
Right.
editions together, right, with our family. And, at that time, I think, boy, my kids were maybe 4. But anyway, and we were getting so ramped up and excited for what was going to happen in 1999. That these 97 films came out and they were like our precursor, like, oh, I just can't wait.
Yeah, wet your whistle.
And I get in the theater. Yes, right? And then first you see that whole the scene that really gets me, and I start going, what the hell is going on? Is the Jabba sequence. Now this is something I had seen in its original true form. And I have zero issues with it, and I actually like that scene. But the way it was executed was absolutely horrendous. That was the first time I had ever started to question what the hell I was witnessing and why. That was the most important question of all, and I still have that question. Why?
That's bad.
To me, I feel like this was the start, and I'm going to go off on a little rant here. To me, this is where retconning started. This is, to me, where the whole genesis of having all of these things kind of changed started with these special editions. And you kind of see where things have gone to nowadays with it. But that Jabba scene, to me, was horrendous. It did not fit. And the fact that he walks over Jabba's tail, the most mean gangster that he's been like in the world, and he's trying to not piss off, and he's trying to, hey, I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm going to make it done for you. And to see him kind of trample over that's the last thing that you would ever want to do to somebody or something of that stature. So to me, it was just, it split my mind in half. It was like, what wait a second, what is going on here? That was, yes, exactly. Why?
Yeah.
And to this day, why? Mike, have they fixed that at
No,
all in the Disney Plus
all
stuff?
they've did with that scene is they have like updated how Jabba looks. It still looks horrible, but it's bad.
Well, the thing is, okay, so I know
that.
that George Lucas wanted that scene there. That's why he filmed it, and the claymation never looked good, and I get that. But when you edit the movie together, it works without it, especially in the context of the trilogy, because just kind of like, because like you hear about Jabba, and I remember going into Return of the Jedi, we're finally going to get to see what Jabba is, what is a Hutt, and that was a really cool reveal. And I think they should have gone that. The other thing, the scene does not work after you make Jabba that slug. He says, Jabba, you're a wonderful human being. What's that? A major insult after walking on his tail?
Mm-hmm. That's, I think, exactly what they're going for.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's just like,
Yeah, so that was the first time I was like, what the heck is going on?
It actually slows the pace of the film down, too.
It does.
Yes.
Well, and here's the funny thing. Of all the things that you're going to go in and change on the original Star Wars, why don't you have John Williams come in and do a score that put the Imperial March in with the Star Destroyers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's in every movie but Star Wars.
Yeah, and that's because he came up with it later, and that's fine. But it's become such a dominant theme of Star Wars.
Right.
Why not just put it in there? I mean, but at the same time, why do you want to screw with a great score? So it's kind of funny. Why would we screw with a great score? Well, why did you screw with a great movie?
Right. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
you know what? You know what? I think we need to go up to Montecito and knock on George's door. And as the police haul us off, we're going to yell, "Why?
Yeah.
Why, George? Why?"
Well, hopefully George will be watching this, and he'll go, you know what? Let me get these guys in, and he can.
Now, Mike, if this gets George on the fan cave, we're not worthy.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
You can only hope. You know what I mean? You can only wish.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know. Floyd, you got anything?
I really like that they improved the Death Star battle.
I do too, and that's where the pacing that I was talking about goes. Like, you know, there are many fan editions that you can find online, and people have made semi-specialized editions where they keep certain things in and they add certain stuff. They're like the lightsabers. You know, that little part where I was talking about Obi-Wan, they've highlighted that, they've made that better. But that pacing in that second half with the new, with the CGI is fantastic. It's great. Yeah. So if you can almost swap and go one way or another, but it's like sometimes I like to just put the movies on just in the background, and I find myself getting angry, irritated at certain points of like Star Wars. You know, the whole McClunky and the Jabba scene and the lightsaber and stuff like that. Like it's distracting from a good movie.
There's another scene that doesn't need to be added because they added it and they edited out the middle. Is right before they're going to go when Luke's talking to Biggs. So you finally get that interaction. Mm-hmm. And he's a Skywalker. Yes. You'll do fine. And I'm like, okay, what just happened there? And the original dialogue was, I met your father when I was a boy. If you're half the pilot he is, you'll be fine. How does that not work? Mm-hmm. Because the Aegis was the commander too old, and so I don't know, but it didn't. They could have just, I don't know. They could have done something, but the editing on that is atrocious too, because it feels like, you'll do fine. I'm like, wait, what happened?
Yeah,
yeah.
I got one last thing for Star Wars, and then I'm done. The flight, the land speeder going into Mos Eisley, and the Jawa falling off of the stupid dinosaur thing.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that. That's funny. Toronto.
It's horrendous.
What was your what's
the animation is
you just
horrendous. Didn't like it? And of all the things that they could have went back and fixed, they never fixed it. So you got square Jawas falling off, and they're just dangling there, and it's just oh my god, it's just horrendous. I can't. So that's it. That's my Star Wars.
Let's see, but I like that the dewbacks make noise and they move, both with the stormtroopers and at the bar.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that as well. But I mean,
and I love it. They left the original arm that was cut off in Mos Eisley's in, right? They didn't do anything
I
like
think it's the original arm.
It's the original.
Well, you could clean up the you could clean up the blood because that is the only lightsaber cut in all the Star Wars movies that doesn't cauterize instantly.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That is true.
There's a lot of important things that were, said in that movie that, come back later on, that are important. So I do like that continuity of the original trilogy. So, that's good.
Well, that's why I love that scene after they escape the Death Star. And he goes, "Oh no, do you think a princess and a guy like me? No." And as kids, you're like, "Oh, Luke's going to marry the princess," and then
yes, yeah.
Well, that's why
Yes,
Empire Strikes
that
Back
is
kiss doesn't bother me
completely true.
because you're kind of hoping for that interaction because you don't know at that particular moment that's what's happening. So when she kisses him in Empire,
Yeah.
you're like, "Ooh, yeah, they're getting closer," and Han's gonna be really pissed now. So it goes with part of that narrative, I think.
Yeah, and Luke just got really cocky,
Yeah.
did he not? Like in that scene,
I don't think he knew
well, I
what
don't
was
know.
going on. He just was
Anyway.
looking at it like,
I think none of us knew what was going on until Jedi. That was the thing. So anyway, but I guess overall, those are the things that really kind of stick out about A New Hope, the special
yeah.
edition.
So
for me.
Star Wars, New
Just-
Hope. I think we can move on from that. I don't have any other issues. You guys?
No.
Right.
Wow, why are you quiet all of a sudden?
now something pinged, and I wanted to turn it off without
Oh.
pinging again.
That's all right.
Oh,
No
got it.
problem.
I was going to do the rest of the episode in pantomime because
in sign language. So we'll move on from Star Wars. We'll
Han
go to
Solo,
Empire
heat
Strikes
low
Back.
carbon.
Yeah. So Empire Strikes Back. Did you guys have any issues with Special Edition Empire?
Yes.
I can't.
You did, Floyd?
Oh, okay. You guys talk. I don't know if I did. I can't remember anything that really stands out about those special editions in
Empire,
in
I have
Empire.
no issues with anything that they redid.
The Emperor. So I'm glad they went with the original actor. It was the change of the dialogue.
Yeah, that.
Oh, the
that's true.
son of Anakin Skywalker. How could this be?
Yeah.
The dialogue was fine without that.
Yeah, I went the. I agree with you on that.
Okay.
They could have just kept the same dialogue and just changed the actor.
Yeah.
I don't even. What were the things that they did change? I can't even.
Well, they made
remember.
the Wampa scene longer with him chewing on the arm and
Yeah.
then standing
Oh
up. They did that.
yes.
They, in Cloud City, they added windows to look to the outside.
Well, that was
Yes,
awesome.
That was
I
awesome.
did love
was
that. I
great.
did love that.
Just little things like that, but there wasn't much in Empire that they changed.
No, and
Because that film
Yeah,
is
they
a
did. It was
masterpiece,
good.
right? I mean, there's really not much that you could do.
they
to
they
kind of
op- they
destroy
changed the
it.
top hatch so that there's a second hatch,
Yeah, so with
which
light.
made sense. Okay, all right. I don't think I needed Darth Vader to like bring in my shuttle and do that, and then
Yeah.
use the footage from the beginning of the Return of the Jedi to make it look like that. I get it. He made it back to his ship.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I think
those-
they're just
those are
adding
my
stuff
only
just
two.
to add stuff.
Well, but here's the thing: is it says the audience is too stupid to understand, and I'm like, no, we followed for years. We're fine.
We understood it. I understood it in the 80s
Yeah.
when it came out, so I was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do have a question though. What if they were to take that kissing scene out? What would you have a reaction to that? Would you be like okay with it? Would you not like it? What if they did do that? I mean,
I
how
would
would
probably
you
be
react to that,
upset.
Mike?
Because I think it works.
Really?
I think it
Okay.
works for just the whole. I think it works more.
To building that tension
it works
between
more for Han and Leia
right?
than it does for Luke and Leia. Especially
Well,
that whole
Gotcha,
argument
okay.
they're having in the hallway, and he's about ready to
Yeah.
leave, and he thinks that all she wants is to give him a kiss and all that stuff, and she's gonna be like, "I show you."
Yeah.
It also plays into two other areas. So at the end, when he gets this new hand and he puts his arm around her, he's got one thing in his head, and she's like, "Yeah, I want the frozen dude who's out there." And so that, but that love
Okay.
triangle. I mean, as light as it is really good for the tension and the friendship in that movie. But it pays off later in Return of the Jedi. Oh, Luke, could you tell Luke? Is that who you
Yes.
tell? And so I'm like, he doesn't know. And then even at the end, like, I won't get involved. I'm like, no, he's my brother. And he's like,
Right.
because you can see in his eyes, he's like, but she kissed him in the snow
Right.
planet.
As
So
we-
it does
as we
work,
were all
Tony.
thinking that, yeah.
Yes.
But I
yeah,
think
yeah,
that's
yeah,
why, just for those reasons by itself, it's so important to watch Star Wars first, Empire second, Return of the Jedi third, and then watch it the way that
Yes.
we saw it. Because if you watch 1, 2,
Yes.
and 3, and then you get to 4 and 5, you already know what's going on and the payoff for I Am Your Father. the kissing, it falls flat, and it's there's no value in it. It has value if you haven't seen the prequels. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that's why I think the watching order is important.
Well, it is important. It's also why, switching franchises. It's also why you watch the Harry Potter movies before you watch Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Mm-hmm. Because that history that's alluded to in the books and the movies is being played out in the movies, and to some degree, much better than Star Wars ever did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I would have to agree on that one.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
Woohoo! So, Return of the Jedi, for the most part, I am okay with what they did. For me, there's only one issue that is...
And I think it's you and I are going to have the same issue.
It's just horrendous. Tony, I'll let you go. I'll let you go first.
Is it the Darth Vader?
Oh,
no!
That's it. I hate it. I hate it.
Yes.
Me too. On that note, I have to go.
Yes. That's good, Floyd. Yeah, that's what we should protest. That's how we should protest.
Sorry, George. I'm walking out.
Yeah. No, that's bad.
But because it's Star Wars, I have to come back.
Yes.
I can't help myself. The only person I know that has the fortitude to not come back has been Tito.
What do you mean?
So after The Last Jedi, he goes, they're just not that good.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
And so I think the last one he saw that he enjoyed was Rogue One.
Rogue One was,
but that's another episode on its own right.
Yeah, that's another
I know,
episode
but
on its own.
But so what it was specifically was your issue, Mike, with the no and you, Floyd? I mean,
so for me,
it's specific.
Yes, there was more power and more tension in not knowing what he's thinking, as him looking over, contemplating, because you know what he was doing. He was looking at the Emperor, and you're thinking like, oh shit, what's this guy gonna do? Is he going to save his son, or is he not? And when you hear no, it's not a surprise when he lifts him up, because you already know where he's going with it. It didn't need to be said. I think the way that it was before and the way that it played out theatrically was perfect.
Well, and in the theater, people were cheering when they didn't know what's happening. But here's the other thing. It goes back to the audience is smart enough to follow along what is happening, and there was tremendous tension. Yep. And it was. That's the thing. Fixing things that were fine makes no sense.
Right.
And that's why they never should have changed the Palace song or the End song, because Lapti Nek is one of my favorite Star Wars songs.
Yeah. Those are my other two issues. Jedi Rocks or whatever.
Yeah.
Ooh, that just drives me nuts.
Ooh, Jedi! That guy.
Yeah.
Did you like the whole celebrating at the end where they start going to
different I didn't have a problem with that.
I did like that, because at the time, again, we're now starting to see a little glimpse of what was to come in 1999, right? And that was exciting. And I did like it. You know what? That felt like how I watched Return of the Jedi, right? You come out and you're like, woo! And you just are like in such a good mood, and you've been on this incredible journey for so many years, and you're celebrating. But the no, the same issue I have with it is it just it dumbed it down, and it was something that did not need to be dumbed down. In fact, it was just that silence is what made that so powerful, and I still ask myself why. That is the question we keep coming back to. Why? And we have never received an answer on that. And I guess
George,
never will.
We're coming over.
Yes.
George, you drop me an email when you watch this episode, because we want to talk.
Why, George? Why?
And by the way, we're not being the haters. We're the lovers. We love Star Wars.
Yes, exactly. This is like, again, go back to the last couple of episodes that we've done here on the FanCave, and we love this franchise, and we love these characters. It was just, I just don't understand. It's
Some of
why?
the changes.
That's
I
what
get
it should be.
You want to update it.
Instead of no, we should be saying why.
I think I did say that when that happened.
Actually, I'm going to create a special edition, and I'm going to put Jim Kirk going Khan over it, and then I would just blow everyone's mind.
Yeah.
Because Vader is yelling Khan in William Shatner's voice.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Luckily,
Okay, but guys, we got one more thing. I keep getting surprised by the things that don't get mentioned, but the other things are kind of big things.
Go ahead.
Force Ghost, Hayden Christensen.
Oh,
so there is a good argument that's how he remembers himself. But I kind of like the old guy. Like he got restored.
I like the Sebastian Shaw guy.
To me, that felt like that was the character arc, and that was the character's story, and that was the character's journey, where he ended up being this Force Ghost in the end, and that is the true Force Ghost. I don't buy this whole Hayden Christensen thing.
It felt out of place and
just
pushed.
It does.
But I can live with it. But
again,
I can live with it.
Okay, but to be consistent, then they need to go back and they need to put Ewan McGregor in for Obi-Wan, and they need to put 200-year-old Oda. Oda?
Well, Oda.
Oh, that's his cousin who turned to the dark side.
No, so this is how I make it work for me. So maybe I can help. The way that I look at it
make it work for us.
The way that it works for me is I look at it as the last time that he was a Jedi was before he turned into Vader. So when he, as a Force ghost, he's going back to the last time he was a Jedi. Obi-Wan, when he died as a Jedi, he died old. So he's gonna be that guy. And Yoda, he never went to the dark side. So once Vader goes to the dark side, then I think all that gets omitted and gone.
No, but again,
I got one more to say to that,
Mike. Work for me.
I got one thing to say to that, Mike Prisco,
Okay, all right.
McClunky.
Okay.
I'm not going there. Not there.
Yeah.
And you know what? I have got one thing to say.
I'm gonna open up.
Why? Why?
Even he doesn't understand what's going on. He's trying to figure it out. Why did they do that?
You know the best part? I've been trying to figure out since you showed that the first time what that reminds me of, and that's Pulp Fiction. Vincent Vega trying to figure out which way to go. That's that.
Yes. Oh my God, that is a bit that Mike and I have been doing in that specific scene for our entire friendship since we've seen that film.
Yeah.
Right, Mike? Every single time, and we never know when that line's going to come up, but when it does, we laugh every single time. But
I'm just glad that these gifts are going to be out there because I'm going to start using them.
Why?
Where was that filmed at? Because I saw a cactus, and I don't remember a cactus.
That was the house across the street.
That was the
mansion.
Yeah, the
mansion
house across the street.
Actually, I guess I should say cacti. Cacti? No, cacti is plural. Cactus is one. I've had too much of Clunky to drink before I got on the show. Clearly.
Very, very McClunky.
Waiter, no mas McClunky.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, and Misa going to be very drunk.
Yeah.
Oh, don't even get me started on that one.
Yeah, it may take us a year to get to those ones, so we don't because the whole episode, I'm gonna be like, yeah.
That should be our protest right there, right? We should just do a video with just our voices and those.
And the best part is like it's still PG-13 because I only put up an F when I'm out. No other nothing else to follow.
Yes.
Here's the big F. It's like, hey, guess what? Big F.
Yeah.
I'm having too much fun with this. Mike's gonna be like, we're back today, and we have Tony and Esteban. We have no idea what happened to Floyd.
I just hope that it.
Last we heard Monticello. Yeah, last I heard is that Montecito PD had Floyd in the back of the car screaming, "Why, George? Why?"
Yeah. There was a disturbance at Neverland Ranch. Yeah. You got to send that to me.
I will.
By the way, we're going to turn that into an NFT for $1,000, and anybody wants the McNeffio thing.
Yes. Oh, let's do that. NFT right now. Yes. Start up the blockchain. We're doing it.
All proceeds will go to more toys in the fan cave.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm getting to a
Exactly,
max,
exactly.
gentlemen. I'm getting to a point.
You know what? Then we need to. Then that money needs to go to building you
Yeah,
a better,
a bigger
fan
one.
cave and a bigger one.
Little
Yes.
does Mike know, but the Empire
that's
has begun
awesome.
construction of a second, more deadly fan cave.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. I love that, Floyd. That's great. That is amazing.
Gentlemen,
but man, this has
It
been
is.
so much fun.
I think we'll end it with that. Unless there is anything else that you guys want to make sure it gets out there.
No, I just again, I thank you again for having me
thanks
on
for
this
showing
on
up.
this show, Mike. This is great, and again, you can find me on the Knowledge of Nothing podcast wherever podcasts are available. It's fun, lighthearted, and Mike is a huge inspiration for us. Just this relationship has been a huge inspiration for what we do on that podcast. So. All I want to say is I want to plug again Macbethiano on this channel. Please do yourself a favor, watch it, and figure out why.
I think that's.
All right.
I think
That's
when
all
I
I
get
have
that,
to
I'm going to
say.
make that the closing scene.
Oh, yes. Yes. All right, I'll send it to you right after
All
this, Mike.
All right,
Gentlemen,
McClunky.
Tony, I appreciate you
Yes.
coming. Thank you for showing up on my fan
Yeah,
cave.
anytime.
Floyd, I appreciate you coming. Thank you.
Love
for
you,
the
love
fan
you
cave.
guys. It's like hanging out between
love
between
you.
second and third period, but you having some Hostess cupcakes. And,
Yeah. And we're,
honey buns.
across the country,
Yes.
right? I mean, we're doing this
Yeah.
cross country. I mean, we're all over the U.S.
That's
doing
right.
this. And, Mike, this is great. I look forward to each and every
I think-
time I'm on this show. So
I think I'm
please
gonna. I think I'm
pass me
gonna
back
print
whenever.
up some shirts and sell them just to Star Wars fans that say, "Let's
Yeah.
go, let's go, McClunky."
Let's go, there's probably already out there. I'm sure they're out there already.
Floyd is
Yeah,
starting
there
an
it
Etsy
is.
shop.
It
McClunky
is.
Incorporated.
It is. I really love the show, and I only have to wear a shirt. I'm gonna no pants. Pants are optional.
Oh, I
I'm-
didn't say you had to wear pants. That's
No.
absolutely optional.
Yeah, exactly. I have socks on though. So does that mean I'm getting older?
Really
So-
depends on what your definition is.
It really is.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, on
Gentlemen.
that note, edit the hell out of the ending here, please.
Oh, no. This is all staying in. Gentlemen, I appreciate you guys. May the force be
All right.
with you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
And also,
That's right.
Damn it, damn it, Jim!
Love you
Damn it,
guys,
Jim! I'm
and,
a doctor, not a Jedi.
And I'll see
All right.
you guys next time
Peace.
as well. So
All
I can't
right.
wait. All right.